All right. I see you, Brooks. I see you.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Today's review is going to be exciting because we get to talk about another carbon-plated shoe, an exciting option from Brooks. It is the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2. Now, you've probably seen a number of reviews already pop up about this shoe. I took my time with it, and I put a lot of miles in it, and I have a lot to say about it. Now, before I get into what I'm going to say about this shoe, of course, I have to point out that this shoe was provided for review by Running Warehouse. I can say whatever I want about it, good, bad, or whatever. You know me, I never hold back, and today is no different, so let's just dive on into it. When talking about super fast shoes or competitive carbon-plated monsters, the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2 is not to be overlooked. I did not review the first version of the Hyperion Elite, which I actually hear is a good thing. But I wanted to take my time with the Hyperion Elite 2, being Brooks' big carbon-plated shoe. A lot of tech and a lot of design elements went into it, so I wanted to make sure that I got my 50-plus miles in it training. And now, in hindsight, I'm really glad I did, because the shoe's dynamics really changed in my review process and sort of showed me when and how this shoe soars, and also why it may not work for everybody, but those who are looking for something like it, it could excel. A huge bonus is that during Ginger Runner Live, Kim and I got to sit down with Brian Bark. He's the senior innovation developer at Brooks Running. He worked a lot on this shoe. So we actually got to ask a bunch of specific questions, design, elements, all that sort of stuff in that episode of Ginger Runner Live. You can go watch that episode there. So let's figure this shoe out. The Hyperion Elite 2 is Brooks' fastest release yet, featuring an extra thick pad of DNA Flash midsole, much like the Hyperion Tempo, a carbon plate, a thin and race-ready upper, and Brooks' rapid roll shape for quick toe-off in race environments. The shoe is a bold addition to the carbon racing trend of the last few years, and is Brooks' best shot at standing out amongst the noise. It's meant to increase energy return, it's meant to hold up longer than its predecessor, and it's meant to go fast. But just because it's meant to do something, does it actually accomplish that? Or because it's so overly designed and competition ready, does it just begin to alienate and overlook regular runners looking to go a little bit faster? We're gonna try to figure all of that out in today's review. As always, I like to talk about the things I like and dislike about a product. Today is no different. Let's start talking about the things I like about the Hyperion Elite 2. Dynamics. Now, I use this term occasionally when I'm referring to shoes, but in this case, the DNA Flash midsole is very responsive. It has a bit of cushion. Where it really begins to shine is in warmer temps and at faster efforts. Those dynamics make this shoe super sporty, very springy, really wants to motivate you to move forward faster. It's a fun shoe in that you feel it working with you to propel you forward. Some of these carbon-plated shoes sort of have that feeling, some do not. This certainly is a dynamic shoe. Rapid roll. So this is Brooks' marketing term in just regards to how the shoe itself has a nice roll from the heel up through the toe. The way that the actual profile of the shoe is shaped moves you forward, leans you forward. It's kind of what I was talking about with dynamics in regards to the midsole and everything like that. It's the shape of the shoe that also contributes to that same sensation. I like it. Like Hoka's Meta Rocker and other shoe brands, sort of similar shape. The rapid roll here works. I don't really find myself spending much time at all here through this sawed-off heel. Where I really begin to feel it is through that midfoot up through the toe box. You want to just roll through that foot strike. It's a fun sensation and certainly one that I think helps contribute to a faster turnover in this shoe. It's fun. Durability. So this is something I sort of heard through the grapevine in regards to the Elite 1. The shoe wasn't very durable. I believe it was manufactured to go up to about 100 miles or so. I'm happy to report that the Hyperion Elite 2 is meant to go much, much further than that. Anywhere between 200 and 400 miles you should be able to get out of this shoe, which is a lot for a shoe that is designed specifically for competition or racing. I know a lot of people will probably end up training in this as well. It's designed to get up to those higher mileages for sure. I am happy to report that I have no real durability issues whatsoever with the shoe. I'm not seeing any midsole breakdown. There's just so little outsole as it is. The upper is holding up quite well. Yeah, so far durability, pretty good. And finally, weight. It is very lightweight shoe for something that has so much midsole. In my size 11, we're right at about 8.3 ounces. which is still really, really lightweight. It is a combination of a lot of things going into this. The DNA Flash midsole is super light, but very responsive. The upper is made of this really fun mesh that's, slightly stretchy, but has a lot of form factor to it. It's very lightweight, very thin. The laces are very thin. The tongue is very thin. You can see there's a lot of attention to detail here in keeping the shoe as lightweight as possible. I think there's some sacrifices that could have been made for a bit more comfort overall. I'll get to some of those in the dislikes. But when it comes to weight, the shoe weighs very little, especially for what it's packing as far as punch. That being said, it is not all pumpkin pie and bratwurst with sauerkraut. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Hyperion Elite 2. Let's get to those now. The cushioning. I did say the shoe was dynamic, and it is, because it's very responsive. It's a real dense, kind of harder midsole material. I think it works really well in the Hyperion Tempo, which I've already reviewed. But when you add to the stack and you add a carbon plate, it just removes a lot of the cushion and a lot of what I loved about the DNA Flash materials. Because of that, you're not getting as much squish out of the shoe. I'm realizing that this DNA Flash midsole is great, but just because there's more doesn't mean it's better. Situational benefits. I'm going to try to explain this as best as possible. So this shoe does not excel in all situations. I think you probably know that purely by the marketing and where the shoe and who the shoe was designed for. But with that carbon plate in combination with the DNA Flash, it's not going to be a great daily trainer. This is just my personal experience. I did not like logging long miles in this shoe and found that the only times I really enjoyed running in it was when I had to pick up the pace. So it will work better for some in speed or competition environments. Just don't expect it to be the Swiss Army get-all carbon plated type of shoe. Having reviewed and tested DNA Flash midsole in the past and really liking it, I thought, hey, this could be a really good opportunity for a shoe that has the carbon plate that sort of balances that realm of racing and training. It just doesn't necessarily do that. It's designed to go fast. It's designed for competition. Anything outside of that realm, and I just don't think you're gonna get the most out of the shoe. Heel tongue. Heel tongue. So the overall fit with the heel isn't great. I wasn't able to get a really good lockdown in that heel. It's quite slippery. They do have a couple added padded elements back there to hopefully lock that heel down. I never really got a good one. And I've heard reports from people who maybe wear lower socks that it definitely does not work very well with the Achilles. So I would encourage you to wear higher socks, whether crew or calf length socks. Just basically get a layer of fabric between you and that heel counter. In combination with a super thin tongue that wants to slide all over the place, my biggest issue with this upper was just how much my foot wanted to move around, how the materials wanted to move around. There was very little ability to lock it down through the ankle here, and that's a bummer. Just is. And finally, price. $250. Every single carbon fiber shoe that I feel like I reviewed is somewhere above that $200 price point, hovering right around $250. I don't know why. Is it materials? Is it cost of goods? Is carbon fiber really that expensive? The technology now has been around for a couple of years. You would think that the price point would come down because $250 is a lot to spend on a shoe that is specific to race environments. It's a lot of money for something very specific, which is actually it for dislikes about the Hyperion Elite 2. So in conclusion, if you are one that is familiar with carbon plated shoes, if you have a pair in your house or you're looking to get a new pair or you're looking to evolve your race shoe lineup, the Hyperion Elite 2 is definitely a shoe that you should be looking at because it does the carbon plated fast speed type running really, really well. It's going to be dialed in for those who are looking for a dynamic, very responsive shoe that wants to snap from foot stride to foot stride, just really propelling you forward. It's not nearly as cushioned as I'd hoped, but it offers a different dynamic experience that I think some people might want or be accustomed to already. Big note, the shoe will fight you at slower speeds. If you are looking for a long distance shoe where you can just plot out the long miles and maybe take it to a marathon and maybe PR a marathon, but you're a mid-packer or a mid-pack elite, as we like to call it, it may not work to your benefit. This is certainly a shoe where I felt it come alive in those speeds where you're at 7 minutes per mile or faster. So when you really are getting that kick together and you're just excelling with the speeds and you're going for those PRs, that's where the shoe could potentially benefit you. So while not ideal for training runs in those race environments or speedy scenarios where you are picking up the pace, man, the shoe comes alive. It's also a fantastic partner to the Hyperion Tempo, which could be the training workhorse, and this is the race day shiner. Let's get more specific. Build quality. I'm actually pretty impressed with the build quality of this shoe. I think Brooks is doing something really good here with these new upper materials, the DNA Flash, the carbon plate. It's all holding up quite well from a durability standpoint and a build quality standpoint. It's all holding up well. Comfort, not the most comfortable shoe. I like DNA Flash midsole. I thought I would really like it here, but with that carbon plate and just how responsive this shoe has come out, it is less comfortable and more speedy oriented, right? It's dynamic, very responsive, not quite in the cushion department. Fit, it is a precise fit, so it's going to be less accommodating for those with wider feet. It has a great stance as far as width and platform is concerned, but what you do get in platform, you sort of lack in the upper as far as width is concerned. And I'm going to get a bit of fit issues across the heel and through the tongue and stuff like that. So when you do get it dialed in, it'll hold on. It's just not going to hold on super tight. Price at $250. It's $250. Someday we'll get something under 2, hell, maybe even under 150 someday. But for now, time to sell a kidney. And finally, looks. You know, I actually don't mind it. I think it's super bold, it's super bright. It's interesting what they're doing here with like the cracks or the rock, whatever's going on through the upper. I think they could do without that. Either stick with this silvery, glittery fabric or just keep it this white up front. But just the simplicity of having a light fabric as the upper and this bright yellow midsole and I always call it a swoosh, the Brooks check mark. It's simple, understated, but flashy and fun. So, you know, it's one of the better looking Brooks shoes, I'd say. Bringing us to our final criteria is the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2, a buy, try, or a why? I'm gonna say it's a bit of a try, and that is specifically to those road runners who are looking to go very fast in a race environment that needs something snappy. There are so many different carbon-plated shoes, especially in this price point. It's probably not my first pick, but it is certainly one that should be paid attention to if you like a more responsive, snappier ride. We already talked about it through the whole review there, so hopefully that helps you make your decision. If you do decide you want to get a pair of these for yourself, I have links in the description that will take you over to Running Warehouse. If you want to find out more information or get a pair for yourself or get any running gear whatsoever, use those links. They're affiliate links and they do help this channel out a lot. So I'm going to turn the question over to you. Have you tried the Hyperion Elite or the Hyperion Elite 2? I'm curious in the comments what you think of either of those shoes. Just let us know, because I'm sure a lot of the user feedback out there is going to be very beneficial to those who might be looking at these shoes for their next marathon, perhaps. But that is it for today's review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, favorite, subscribe to this channel, click that little notification bell to be updated every time a new video is uploaded to the channel. Social media links. You get the drill. At the bottom there, patreon.com/thegingerrunner is how we make a living. This is how we keep the lights on, keep the mics hot, keep the reviews coming, the live shows, everything. Please consider joining us over at patreon.com/thegingerrunner for as little as $1 a month. At $3 and above, we are doing daily live streams. So every single day of the week, we are going live. We're talking about shoes, gear, training, pie. We talk about it all over there. It's called Daily Brew. It's our daily live stream. We'd love to have you join us. And that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into today's review. We'll see you guys next week for some more fun. Get out there, train as hard as you can, virtually race harder, and party the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.